Jamaica has done a lot of work to develop the public sector healthcare and the provision that Jamaicans can access and benefit from. However, Jamaica's healthcare is constantly in question by some on the island and many in the diaspora. Is Jamaica's healthcare really the worst? Let's have the conversation.
The Jam Fam family. Jam Fam, come hang with me. Yeah.
Hello, Wagwan, pick up yourself. Whether you're there yard or you're there abroad, welcome back to another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the healthcare because it's a very important issue at any age and stage of life. To say Jamaica has no healthcare is a disservice to Jamaica and to the Jamaicans who are living in Jamaica, who have had several medical treatments and have been nowhere but Jamaica to get their care. Whilst Jamaica has a very active private healthcare in terms of medical doctors and specialists, dentists and orthodontists, opticians and ophthalmologists, it also has a parallel reasonably free healthcare funded by the National Healthcare Fund, the NHF. There are increasingly people sharing about their experiences at different health facilities in Jamaica, and we've already done a production about the different types of facilities and their provisions, so you can go back and watch for more clarity if you need to understand how the Jamaican healthcare system actually works. Only recently, there is a Jamaican returning from Canada, and she was hospitalized in one of the hospitals, and I came across a video that she was talking about the care that she received in the public hospital. I've also watched videos of families on the North Coast with their child's broken arm getting care in a public facility, and I've also heard people speak to their maternity experience and the care that they receive. On the private side, we've heard returning residents doing blood tests and other specialist appointments, and I've been to the dentist here myself as well. Now, recently, a returning resident from the UK also told me of her experience in a hospital, and she was impressed. And this is somebody who has experience of the UK healthcare service. Only recently, when I was in the UK, my parents were telling me about a heart surgeon who did his training in Kingston, Jamaica, and some of the positive things that he had to say about the country and its healthcare and the experiences that he've gained here and how they've impacted his profession going back to the UK. A British friend of mine was also impressed with the care that her father received in Mandeville Hospital. And of course, the service could do with improvements. They could do with more beds, more gowns, more bed linens, and resources that could be improved with dedicated fundraising like it's done in the UK and Canada, where they have reasonably free healthcare services, and in some regards in other parts of the world. A couple months before we went back to the UK, my father went to a free eye checkup, because these are health fairs that are hosted across the country by private doctors, dentists and opticians, and they are working in partnerships with either companies or organizations or schools or churches, and who are hosting some of these things. And what they do is they go out and they set up their fair, and then they diagnose or rule out issues for people so that people are clear. And these are open to people from all walks of life, and predominantly we find that there are lots of people there who would not have otherwise been able to access these private health cares. At the eye checkup, my father was able to realize that he needed a surgery. He paid his money and was in and out rather swiftly. The government has always provided elderly care on NHS, including medication. And so for people who aren't able to go down the private route, they are able to access and utilize these avenues to be able to get their health care. The reality is that the care in other countries is not as superior as many want us to believe. And it is fair to say that Jamaica is making lots of strides, leaps and bounds to ensure that people with lots of different illnesses are able to access the care that they need to be able to adequately care for their medical needs. And that's quite remarkable in a country of our size and with the economic history that Jamaica has. And therefore, if people are actually just staying in these other countries because the health care that they can get there is free, then they might want to consider how much it's actually needed and work out if the same care can be realized in Jamaica's medical system, and if it can actually be accessed even quicker than the wait times that they would have in some of the other countries that they're staying in. I wanted to also bring to your attention one other thing that I've discovered. So I've said on this platform several times that Jamaica does not have any public ambulance services, and I stand corrected. So I have discovered that Jamaica actually have government-owned ambulances. When I discovered it, it was such a surprise to me. I was shocked because all this time in my mind, my perception was that there is none. However, just a caveat here, although they do, it's not ones that go out and deal with emergency that happens out in the public. So that is still lacking and still something that we all need to look at how we can support with bringing into existence. However, the provision of the ambulance that currently exists is one that once you're already in the health care system, so whether you're at a health center or you're at any of the different levels in the healthcare hospitals, then if you are in what is considered an emergency and needing to be transported from one facility to another, then that's where this comes into action. You might have seen on the news where they showcase people who have to leave from one hospital and go to the next in order to get their care. And the reason for that is they were not considered to be emergency or in critical need to then be able to be transported with the ambulance, and as such they expect them to be able to responsibly go from one place to the next so that they can get their checks and their tests done. However, once they're in a position that is considered to be critical or emergency, that's where these ambulances that the government owns comes into play. So now that we know that Jamaica does own some ambulance, it still doesn't fix the overarching issue of the fact that in an emergency, when you are out and about, and if people out and about or in the public domain has an emergency, they still do not have free access to an ambulance system to be able to get them and take them to a facility. That is something that Jamaica still needs to work on realizing. And I've said it here before and I will say it again. It would be good if people could come together, raise funds, and see how this is something that we could set up and fund so that it is available to people on the island. And I've already asked here, and several people have come back and responded to say they would actually contribute to funding for such a project. So if it's something that you would consider doing and you have experience in healthcare and you have the skill set to be able to do that, would it be something that you consider doing? Because I can assure you that if it's something that's set up, people in the diaspora as well as on the island would contribute to it, and fundraising can be done to make sure that this is something that becomes something that is realized, because a lot of people in the diaspora especially has this as a very strong point of contention as to why it is that they are not going to be coming back, because as they age and if they have an emergency and need an ambulance to be able to ensure the longevity of their life, they are concerned that not being able to get one to get to their location quickly is a factor in their decision to not return. And therefore, these are people who would donate to these ventures should they be set up and established. So, is it your call to do that? If it is, tell us in the comment section below. We look forward to hearing from you regarding this. However, hopefully we come to the understanding that the Jamaican healthcare system is not as bad as people are trying to make it out to be. It is improving and there is still more improvement to be done, but it is contending with healthcare systems across the globe in terms of what it has to offer, and both public and private healthcare, whichever of the options that you take. And also, the private healthcare is not as expensive as it would be in other parts of the world where private healthcare is something that is very elitist. In Jamaica, that's far from the case. So it's also something to consider and take in mind. Eliona and I are heading out today onto the town. We have a few errands that we need to go and do. She has a few bits of items that she needs to get that is required at school, and so we need to make sure we go and get those. And we're just going to go out and get the necessary things that we need to get together, and we will bring you along with us as we go, because there are other few things that we also need to go out and get done. Are you looking forward to it?
Not looking forward to the sun.
Okay, you're excited about getting the things?
Yes.
So this is what it is, education is a priority. Things are needed for it, so we're going to go out and make sure we get it so that she goes to school and she have all of the things that are needed for school, so she can do the functioning what she needs for the school and excel as she has been doing thus far. Not true? High five. Yep. We're doing this thing. Anyways, may have to go out for another reason. And so the other reason we're going out to town is my laptop that I have and have been using since coming to Jamaica and before going back to the UK had a ink bubble on the screen where it was leaking ink, but it's also Windows 10, which of course is coming to an end. So I thought after all this time I would treat myself to a new laptop. So we bought one in the summer. When we did, I was still using the other one for all the other things that I was doing. So although I saw that it was set up and everything, I did not actually connect my hard drive, my USB mass storage drive. I didn't connect it to the new laptop. So came back connecting it, it's not connecting, it's not reading it. Putting it back onto the old one, it's reading it. So I'm like, what's happening here? Is the drivers not working on this new laptop? So then, of course, I thought, you know what, before I try to do anything, let me connect something else. So I connected my phone onto it. It recognized it on all of the USB ports, but it's not recognizing the external hard drives on any of them. So I took my data off and put it on my old laptop, and then I reformatted, re-optimized the hard drive, still not connecting. So I connect it, it lights up and everything, and you can feel vibration, but it's not loading. Nothing's loading on it. So I'm like, what am I going to do? Contact Microsoft, because some people said that USBs aren't necessarily being picked up for some reason on Windows 11. So of course I connected to try and see what's happening there. Windows Microsoft people come across and they say, oh, this, that, whatever, try to resolve the problem, and then they decided that, oh, both things have to actually be physically tested. Of course, the laptop that I bought does not have a service center in Jamaica, so it means that I need to find a computer shop and go to. So I'm going to be heading out and trying to go there and get my thing resolved. Hopefully I can get it resolved, because the USB is working perfectly fine. So we just need to get it physically checked to see if we need to download any new drivers or what it is that really need to happen, so that they can start talking to each other, so I can just transfer over completely to the new laptop. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can get it resolved at the shop I'm going to right now. I've found one online, so I'm just going to go and check that one out and see if it works. So I'll see you as we go. We came back from town. We still have no resolution to the laptop issue yet, because all of the laptops that the electrical engineer or the computer engineer was using to check the state of the USB hard drive were Windows 11, which is my problem. You know, my thing isn't showing up on the Windows 11. It's showing up perfectly fine on the Windows 10, just not showing up on the Windows 11. So he was suggesting that maybe I need to buy a new one. But there was another technician who I called, but we've been there before to buy stuff. So I called, but they're in the process of moving offices. So he said, you know, I should call him back next week and come by with it to make him have a look at it to see. So I'm going to do that, and then also in the interim contemplate buying a new hard drive to store my data on, just in case. But we'll see how it goes. The good thing is I still have something that I can use to get my work done that I need to do. But I really wanted to just transition to this one smoothly, but sometimes processes are more laborious than you planned for them to be. So I'm just going to take it in my strides and see how it goes, and just relax and let the process run its course. So we'll see. I will keep you posted with how it's going and what the resolution is that we come up with. A friend of mine harvested a bunch of plantain, and of course she brought me a hand of it, and here it is. So we still have some of the ones we bought, and we have this now to go through and use. So lovely that people are sharing with us, with each other, and that's how we go. So once you're in one of those networks, you get to share things with each other, because her having it all isn't going to be used, and sharing it means that, you know, we get to enjoy some of her harvest. So I'm so grateful that she brought us some, because you have to be grateful for the fact that people share things with you, because they could choose not to. So we appreciate the kindness of our network that we have, and it's amazing to be in an environment where you know that somebody is thinking about you when they have their provisions, and not just when they need something. So people are actually thinking about what they can share with you because they have their stuff that they can share. And so it's a symbiotic relationship, because we are all thinking about how we can share some of our stuff with the other people in our network, rather than just thinking about what we can benefit from the other people in our network. So it's really amazing. And so if you are making the decision to come to Jamaica, I'd suggest that you make sure that you surround yourself with people with whom you can have a symbiotic relationship. You can get stuff, you can give stuff, you are benefiting each other in a healthy, vibrant manner.
The Jam family. Where I living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam family, the Jam family, yeah. The Jam family. Where I living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam family, the Jam family, yeah. Jam fam. Hang with me.
So thank thank you again for staying with us here on this another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. It was a privilege having you, and we want to say bye for now. We look forward to seeing you in the next one, and take care and walk good.